Welcome back to Pixelated Thoughts. It's actually Brad this time. Ken wasn't invited to this video. But I wanted to do a tutorial run of a game that I play called Jack Move. It's the first and only speedrun that I've ever done, but I enjoy this game immensely. Stumbled upon a demo of it on Steam one day, just fell in love with it. The developer's so romantic, did a fantastic job. So just want to make some content with it. So first off, the category is called base percent. It's a little different than a normal category. Basically, we're able to manipulate the encounter rate. We keep it at the base percent, so or the base percentage. So there is some content within the run. It's not just a sprinting simulator. We also don't turn on quick victories or perfect jack moves because we want to have some content to the run. So 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, so the first area is a tutorial area. There are 3 tutorial fights and then 3 forced encounters. If the tutorial fights, let me pause for a second. The first 3 fights that you get into are all tutorial fights. If they happen on a forced encounter, it overrides whatever enemies were supposed to be on that forced encounter. So the third forced encounter is actually a boss fight, and if we don't get any random encounters through this area, we actually overlap the tutorial fight with the boss fight, and we don't want that because we lose a lot of XP and we don't level up. And the first shot that we take, we're actually not high enough level to pick up skills that we need. So even though it's like a minute and a half faster, it just screws up the route. And also, it's very unlikely. I've only had it happen like 3 times in my countless runs where I actually do overlap the boss fight. So it's not a huge danger. But if it happens, we just run around right before the boss room and just take that encounter first. So this is the second forced encounter. We didn't get a random encounter, so this is the second tutorial fight. It's actually supposed to be a female character that we fight against here, but it's overlapped with the skills. So the first fight was learning how to attack. This one's learning how to use skills. We will pretty much be using skills for 99% of the run. Alright, so we are going to refresh here, run into the attic. We want to get 1 random encounter here. Okay. So this is the how to defend and heal tutorial. Because we only have 1 party member, we basically have to play all the roles of what a typical JRPG is entails. So we can actually exchange our skills in the middle of a fight. So if we need to become a healer, we can become a healer. If we need to be a support, other support, like buffs or debuffs. Sorry, I got the hiccups. Alright. Now we just well away at these dudes. I really like the fight music in this game. It's pretty sick. So we shouldn't get another one. I'm actually going to heal real quick. So this boss fight, it's fairly safe. There's still 1 tutorial action that has to happen. So when we get a full jack move, which is kind of like our special meter or our ultimate move, it forces us to take it. So there is a chance that if we are forced to use our jack move when we have super low health, there's a good chance that we die the next turn, and I didn't mean to do that. I apologize. I meant to attack middle guy. But basically, we're just going to attack the middle guy until we get our jack move, and it's going to force us to use it, which we should get it. Actually, yeah, no, that should be good. So it's going to force us to use it. It's going to kill the two add-ons it's going to make the middle guy actually go into a Fury status. The Fury status makes him receive extra damage, but give extra damage, and his accuracy drops. And we actually don't want his accuracy to drop because we want to end this fight with a full Jack meter. Then I'm actually going to cash here. He's going to use a Fury of Blows. So if he crits on this one, that's kind of dangerous. Alright, so we should only have to heal once in this fight. We should be good now. It's fairly safe to heal once and then just keep attacking. You never really have to worry about health again. All damage rolls are consistent. So if you know your level and you know the skill level, the skills level, all damage rolls are, God, of course I miss, are static. So there is no range. So really the only RNG in fights are misses and crits. He's really not going to die. Got a full Jack move though, and I miss, of course. I do have a suspicion that that misses compound. So if you have one miss in a battle, it increases the chance of another miss. Don't know if that's true or not. It just feels that way. And that's the intro. Alright, so we play as Noah. Noah's like a cyber hacker vigilante. She has a sidekick called Ryder. He's the man behind the computer. Does all of our cool hacking stuff for us. So they're basically revolting against the evil corporation Monomine that's taking over the city. They live in Brighttown. Brighttown? Is that right? Brighttown? I'm pretty sure that is. It's Brighttown. Yeah. It's about, I was thinking Bright City for some reason. I think Cyberpunk 2077. Alright. So we're going to go see Ryder, but it's an anniversary of sorts for him. So we're going to go see our uncle, and we're going to go get some apple juice from him. This is Uncle Gwyn. Uncle Gwyn's the coolest character ever. He's like a entrepreneur, war hero, cyber aficionado, and he just walks around in a robe always. I inspired to be him one day. He gives us the apple juice. We head out. We're gonna go meet at Ryder's house. Alright, this lady right here knows no laws of physics. She likes to just walk through walls and block our way. If you get too close to any character, they stop and look at you. So you don't want to get too close to them in certain spots, or you can't get around them. It's annoying. Alright, so we're gonna go to Ryder. Ryder's house. We're gonna do some reminiscing about the old days. He's got his cool pink glasses. I like those. It's nice. And because we actually gave him some apple juice, we're going to force him to pay us. We're actually going to ride up to his deluxe studio apartment, take his life savings, because we definitely need it more than him, and get out of here. we are tired, so we're gonna go home. And of course that lady's standing right there. Talked to her way too many times. Boom, boom, boom. Alright, so we're met with a goon squad. So this is why we wanted to finish last fight with a full Jack Move. Because we fight against 3 enemies here. And using the Jack Move just instantly ends it first turn. There's another forced encounter directly behind that, but I'll talk about that in a second. Jack Move. Alright, this is basically just the fastest way to get through this fight. And it kills everything, so. And they're all dead. Alright, so this next fight, it's the only fight that I know of where you're rooting for the bad guy. You want her to go first and you want her to crit. It just gives us a full Jack Move. There's no way to survive this. She does go first, so let's see. No crit, but we get over a half a Jack Move meter, so. That's Crawl. She's basically Cyber Karen. That's what I call her, at least. She's just a pain in the rear. Alright, so we find out that she's actually the head of, or she's the CEO of Monomind, which is the evil corporation. And our dad is actually a scientist, or was a scientist, that worked for Monomind. And she was looking for him. So we're going to go check on our dad. Only thing is we haven't talked to him in a long time, so we really don't know much about his current whereabouts. But we do know where he lives, so we're going to head there. Alright, these first few fights can be a little dangerous. Especially this encounter. If they both go ahead of us and the big dude crits, there's a chance that I die just outright without being able to do really anything. That's good, she missed. Okay, good. I did not. I thought that was going to kill her before that. So, one thing we try to do, anytime you level up, you do get a full heal and full refresh of your data points, which is like your mana or skill points or magic points. So, we don't take a we basically ignore the first 3 shops that we encounter. So, we solely rely on consumables for the first 30 minutes of the run. Oh, the first 15 minutes of the run. No, first 25 minutes. So we try to heal, or we try to conserve wherever we can. So if I know I'm going to end a fight where I'm going to level up the next fight, I'm going to pick that. I don't need it, but for the sake of safety, I'm gonna hold on to it. So yeah, so I just try to conserve consumables where I can, and I need to pick up some along the way because of that. Dog's pretty fragile, but he buffs damage of other enemies, so we try to get rid of him first. And then we wail away at these dudes. Alright, so to speak about the combat, it is turn-based. You do see the turn order in the top right-hand corner. There are 4... Didn't need that. I don't know why I grabbed that. There are 4 damage types. There's red, blue, green, and purple. It's kind of like a rock, paper, scissors kind of effect. So if you use the right damage type, you do it 50% extra damage. However, it doesn't really work the other way around. So if you use the same type as them, they're not resistant or anything. There is one or two enemies that's not the case, but so as long as we're using the right type, we just do 50% extra damage. But because there are a lot of skills in the game, there's a lot of damage types, we would much rather have one skill and level that skill up. So we just do more damage natively with that skill. And then with bigger enemies, we just debuff that enemy to that damage type. So that's what we do throughout the run. Boom. Had quite a few random encounters here. We will be coming back this way, so I'm just going to open that up. And then, alright, so that's the second shop that we are skipping. We don't really, there's very few things that we can buy right now because of our level, so we're just waiting till we hit level 10, and then we're just going to pick up like essentially the second tier of skills at that point. Alright, so Cyber Karen made it to our dad's house before we did. She runs away. The goons go back in the house, and then we go charging right in after them. I think it's kind of weird that his house is only a bookshelf, and I'm assuming that's a bedroom upstairs. That's the the full extent of his house, but he has a multiplex dungeon of a laboratory in the back, so, you know, priorities, I guess. Go down the elevator. We're gonna follow Spiderbot here. Spiderbot becomes our best friend and helps us along the way. And we need to reactivate the power to open the door, so we got to run around and flip some switches. Some of these fights are a little scary, at least until we level up another time. Him especially, because he can poison you, and you start taking damage over time, and you don't want to do that. Heal here, and he's actually weak to physical, so as I say, that should kill him. There's a hidden data packet behind here. It's what replenishes our data. Pretty much all the consumables the first half of the game. It's because we're so low leveled, it's pretty much a full heal or a full replenish. So try to use, oh, I didn't, whoops. I'm gonna use a Jack Move here. So the boss at the end of this dungeon, I do want to have a full Jack Move when I meet him. So from here on out, I pretty much will not use a Jack Move. I need it to fill it back up. Data packet here. So that was kind of risky because I'm like almost halfway through the dungeon. Well, I'm a third way through the dungeon, so I need to make sure that I finish the dungeons itself with a full Jack Move, so I can remove the mobs from the boss fight. Just to equal out the turns, and I'm not taking super damage. Alright, so balloons are a whole enemy class in itself. After they get hit 3 times, they die. So we're actually going to cash here. They are actually kind of hard to kill. They have a decent amount of so I typically wait to try to kill them last, but I'm typically not strong enough to actually kill them, so I just let them explode. They should do like 60 damage. It critted. Of course it did. God bless him. Hey, I survived somehow. And I leveled up. Alright, that's actually kind of funny. Alright, cool. We got saved there. That was new. I appreciate that happened. Apparently if you level up while dying on the last turn, they don't care. Crits are very dangerous in this game. Alright, so I really need to get rid of that thing, because he's boosted. He's going to do a lot of damage now. And he poisons, of course. So those are the guys that I can actually one-shot if I equip the right item. Oh, there we go. Just want to do a quick heal. I apologize. I am not a professional speedrunner. I don't do this often. My menus are absolutely horrendous, and y'all should not have to be witness to the atrocity. And I'm sure I'm shunned from some speedrun purist community group somewhere. I don't know. But back at the task at hand. Let's see if I don't die on this fight. This is actually my 3rd attempt at recording this video. My first attempt, I made it over half the run before it absolutely went completely haywire, and then the second recording, I actually made it to the final boss and then died to the final boss 3 times in a row. My world record that I have for this run was in a earlier version where the devs saw how we were cheesing the final boss, so they updated the final boss, and that fight is so scary now. It's really the only not safe part of the run, as long as you're paying attention. There's just sometimes you're just not expecting a crit for a crit to happen, but it is what it ain't. So, but basically, we used to cheese the final boss fight with a sleep mechanic. We'd put the boss to sleep, and she would never wake up throughout the entire fight, which made it super safe. So I'm just gonna punch him to death. All right, so I really don't want him to kill me this time. Should be safe here. Yeah. So yeah, I was expecting him to do 60 that last time, so that's unfortunate. All right. There's some baddies down there that we're going to meet eventually. Ting. I really hope I can one-shot this guy. I was like, I should be able to. That's his weakness, so. Alright, this is a cutscene after a door, so if you mash through this cutscene too much, you'll... I did it as I was explaining it. Just a little thing you gotta be conscious of. I actually didn't need that, but it's kind of a safety item, like at the very end of the game. That one is too, actually. There's a few things that can happen in the final boss fight that it's just easier to use items on versus... Okay, so I'm going to cash here. Just because they're all going to go. But you know, I probably could have just killed one of them instead and kind of had the same result, but... Should be able to two-shot him with a melee. Really don't want to use another data packet if I don't have to. Alright, well, I'm bad at math. This particular screen in this dungeon, it's the only place where you get 3 enemies, but it's guaranteed to have 3 enemies, so there is a fight with 2 balloons and a hazmat guy, and that is the worst fight right now, just because of how many turns it has to take. Alright, so this is Dr. Quadir. He's basically Evil Einstein. He's a friend / arch rival to your dad, and he came over to play on his bouncy ball with your dad, and we told him he had to go home. He didn't like that, so we're gonna go and remove him from the premises. Alright, so we start off, we do a Jack Move. It removes the add-on enemies, and then pretty much from here on out we just attack until we get another Jack Move. A second Jack Move just guarantees that we kill them. If we hit all of our attacks and we get a crit, I think on one, if we get 1 crit, we can actually kill him one turn early. In a fully optimized fight, this is about a 55-second fight. So really the only thing that can slow us down is if he does his jump move, which should be the next one. Yeah. So here, I'm gonna heal, and I'm gonna cash. So if everything goes well, we can actually kill him the turn before that, but this right here ends the fight, so it's not bad. Oh, always forget to do that. Alright, so we go to his secret office inside of his secret lab. He's not here, but we do find this data disk, his research. It's encrypted, so we have to take it back to Ryder for him to show us what's on it. Spiderbot shows us a shortcut out of here. And now we basically just go all the way back from where we came. We do absolutely nothing here in Cache City. It's just a pretty thing to look at. We're gonna run through here. All the enemies are the same as the first time we came through here, so they're super trivial now. I mean, they're pretty trivial the first time, but even more trivial this time. The guy in the blue, if you kill the other enemy first, he'll summon reinforcements, so you always have to kill him first. When you're like level 2 or level 3, it's actually kind of hard if you're trying to kill the other enemy. There's a good chance that he'll just continue summoning enemies. So something to watch out for, but it doesn't really matter now. Probably get one more encounter here. There's a little meter in the top right-hand corner of the screen that shows us kind of the chances of us getting another random encounter. Doesn't instantly give us one when it fills up, but it's basically like, hey, you know, it'll happen any second. So after we talk to Ryder, we're going to take our first shop. And my shops are horrible, because I kind of improvise depending on how much money I have and how much and what level I am. So typically the levels are fairly safe for, you know, the skills that we want to pick up. We used to take a shop much earlier, but there was a chance that we wouldn't be level 10, so I pushed it off as far as possible. So gotta go back to Uncle Gwyn so he can tell us what to do. Ryder could not decrypt the data drive because it was like ancient USB or whatever, I don't know. Some type of ancient encryption. So he couldn't do it. Alright, so we're gonna pick up the second tier weapon or skill there. We're gonna pierce firewall. Then we're going to buy overclock and underclock. Come over here, and then we're gonna buy auto electro. Yeah, we're gonna go buy this and this. Come over here, and then we're gonna buy 3. And we're gonna set up a little bit here. Turbo electro and mini assault. Don't really need that assault. That was just for that part of that dungeon, so I could one-shot those dogs. Come over here. I want to talk to Uncle Gwyn. He's going to say, yep, I know this technology. I fought it back in the old war or something like that. I don't know. He's an old guy. So he tells us that there's a scrapyard. There's a big tank in that scrapyard that has the module needed to decrypt this ancient technology known as TLS. That's a stupid joke for the real nerds out there. So he also has a secret bunker, kind of like, I guess it just runs in the family, like your dad. His brother would also have one. But he has a storefront in front of his, which makes it so much cooler. He's gonna give us something. I totally didn't pay attention to what it was, but we never use whatever he gives us, so I'm gonna pick up this. I actually don't need that. I used it in the final fight for a little while, but there's another thing that I do now. This is the only side quest that we do. This is definitely a safety strat. I'm gonna do it for the tutorial just to make sure that we don't run out, but it's fairly in the way, and we get 3 extra data packets. So it's just a safety thing. Alright. Alright. Once again, these guys are stupid. Except for that dog. That dog's pretty cool. I like the dog. But that guy's pretty stupid. I would like to have a full Jack move. That so when I get to the junkyard, there's going to be a forced encounter. It's 3 enemies, so that would be nice to do, but sometimes it doesn't happen, so that's fine. The owner of this junkyard is Pig Dog. We encounter Pig Dog a few times, or twice, I guess. So, first time he tells us to get out of here, we don't listen. So, he tells us. So he fights us at the end, but we'll get there when we get there. Compared to the last dungeon, there's a small difficulty increase. But after this dungeon, the next dungeon, there's a huge difficulty spike. Enemies just do way more damage. You take a lot more damage. I think it's just because of how underleveled we are. This really starts to show in the next dungeon. It almost killed me. I was hoping that leveled me up there, but it did. That's fine. Always try to keep my health over 50%, just in case we get bad turn order. Equip. This basically increases our skill damage, so it allows us to 2-shot a lot of enemies that would make us that would require us to do 3 shots. So if you notice, most of the enemies here are blue. This is kind of the blue electric dungeon. The abilities we are using are blue. It doesn't reduce the damage, but it doesn't boost the damage like if we were to use a green ability. But for us having leveling up a skill, we just do more damage if we debuff the boss to it. So we just stick to one skill per tier, and we just level it up, and then we debuff the important enemies to it, to where we basically we would do the same amount of damage if we were using the right element. Sorry, I'm doing some contemplating in my head. There's potentially there might be a better routing for this now that I'm thinking about it, with the skills that we have available to us now. Smash. That car deserved it. Run this way. I'm avoiding some decent pickups, but I'm trying to keep this one somewhat on track here. I know I'm already decently behind, but go ahead and heal. Definitely not going for any records here. This is definitely just my thought process, you know, throughout the route, and you know, to show off this really cool game. I actually really love this game. A casual playthrough is only like 8 to 10 hours, depending on, you know, how much of the side content that you do. So it's not a huge game, but they so romantic. The guys that developed this game, they put a lot of effort into it. I can tell a lot of joy and happiness just of how well this game was made. It's a small team. Basically, we just have to run around the screen. I don't like this encounter at all, but just gonna melee or kill that dog. I like to kill the helicopter last because we get 2 turns when it's just a one-on-one. I did level up, so I am able to one-shot them now. I actually didn't think about that, but typically I leave them for last because they're the one not one-shot enemy in that fight. Yeah, so the real RNG in this game is the RNG fights, or the random encounters. Sometimes they're really good to you, which it's kind of a give and take, because if you get enough random encounters, you know, one level makes a sizable difference in some of the more important fights, especially later on. So being like one random encounter shy of a level going into a boss fight can, you know, either slow down or speed up the fight tremendously. Especially starting with the next dungeon. The last 4, I would say the first 2 boss fights, if you consider the tutorial boss fight, that one and this one, or that one, the Dr. Quadir fight, and this one are fairly simple. There's really no danger in them, just because of the setup that we have for this one. But the last 3 fights, pretty rough comparatively. All right, so we do go first. Once again, we're gonna remove all the ads from the fight. So we get a mano a mano with Pig Dog here. Oh no, I forgot to do my split. He gets angry, he pushes our turns back, but then he hides, so he doesn't do anything. We're actually going to use some of the skills that we got earlier. We're going to overclock. We're going to underclock, which gives us 4 turns to his 1. So pretty much install. Save. He's going to hit us, and he's going to do like 170 damage, or he's just going to hide. Okay, cool. That's fantastic. And basically, this is the fight now. Because we get so many turns, I think he'll get 2 more turns before we kill him. But we have a leveled up skill. We have a auto buff. Heal just in case. But because we have a higher level skill, we have an auto buff item on. We debuffed his defense to this damage type. We basically just wail on him. Should be able to kill him after this Jack move, I do believe. Or not. Okay, I don't even get to use the Jack. Alright, so we showed Pig Bog, who's boss. And we go into the tank, we find Adam. It's like a warp drive or something. And I also think it's very unsanitary that there's a junkyard literally right next to the city, but who am I to judge? Here's one of those boss fights right there, trying to get around her without her blocking the way. We can talk to that dude with the purple hair again to get another... Whoa. To get another side quest, but it's kind of out of the way, so we're not going to talk to him anymore for any of his quests. Buffer overflow. You know, after this video, I'm probably going to do another run because I want to try using a different skill. I didn't think about it, but so this next dungeon was like the killer of the run. This dungeon so slow, we died probably 50% of the time. Just ruined every run. It's so scary just because of how difficult things escalate between that last dungeon and this dungeon. So we elected to take another shop here, and now we're going to pick up counter hack, auto firewall, and I'm going to pick up this. Yep. Alright, so the hardware, so what we're doing is I'm adding counter hack because we're going to encounter those balloons again. And with the counter, the auto hack is basically just a counter attack, and with the God, I did it again. With the balloons that when they attack us and we attack them, it knocks down their counter. So basically I get to knock down the counter twice as fast because I get to hit them, then they hit me, and then I hit them again. So it speeds up a few of those fights. We get a forced encounter straight into this dungeon, and it's 2 balloons. So it's a little dangerous because if they both blow up on the same turns, they can basically just do a bunch of damage that I can't do anything about. But equipping the auto firewall reduces the damage that they deal significantly, probably 50% or so. So it makes this dungeon so much faster because we're doing much less healing. So there's the auto attack there. So we're already working down on that counter there. I do have a Jack Move here, so I'm actually just going to use it. These enemies have so much health compared to the last enemies. Basically, like roughly around 3 times the health. So there is no way that I can actually kill them in 3 turns unless I did a bunch of buff and debuffing. So it's just faster for me to attack and let them attack me. Because when they attack me, I get that auto attack. I typically just ignore them the entire fight because they will slowly kill themselves throughout the fight. I can worry about other enemies. There is one random encounter with a virus. And typically when I talk about it, he shows up. Nope, okay. There's a virus that replicates itself, which slows down the fight significantly. So we always prioritize the virus first. The auto hack also gives us extra Jack Move, so that's a benefit. That was the wrong thing. Oops. That's also another benefit of having auto hack on. It's not really important later on because we get another item that gives us even more Jack Move. So hit the right enemy this time. Getting a little. I might die here. No. Okay. Well, this is another thing. So if we die in a run, we just start back at the screen transition. Basically, we do lose a little bit of experience, so it's actually very important that we don't die late game. Basically, right now it's not that important. Alright, so this is another forced encounter. This enemy actually kind of sucks. The middle enemy is a ghost of some type of ghost thing. Yeah. It inflicts a status effect called Fear, and basically all it does is reduces the damage that we take and receive, which just slows down the fight. It makes the fight much safer, but we basically, everything is just halved, and it's super annoying. The ghost is like in his invisible form right now, so I can't actually attack him. But he's already done the status effect, so it doesn't really matter. If I would have a Jack move, I would just use it on him and get rid of him before the fight gets going. I apologize because after a death, sometimes the music stops. So it sounds kind of eerie now. It's probably my least favorite theme in the game, this area, so it doesn't bother me that much. So if you notice, that was just a super slow fight because of that status effect. I took almost no damage in the fight, but I also did no damage, so. However, I will probably have a full Jack move for this next fight, which is good. Alright, so this is the virus. We're going to do whatever we can to kill this virus first. Typically attacks twice, and then he replicates on his third turn. I critted, so that's probably a good thing. I'm going to heal because there's 3 attacks coming in. Holy moly. I think without music, this game feels so much slower. We'll use a data packet. Right now that's a full refresh, so we tried to use those outside of battle just so we're not wasting a turn, but I didn't pay attention. That's on me. That thing should die now. Yeah. Typically it's 3 attacks until we level up. And now we just hit this thing. I don't know really what this thing is or what it's supposed to be, but it's just fast. It usually takes more turns than we do. Alright, we should level up after this next fight. But just in case, I'm going to heal. Do have a full Jack move, so doesn't really matter. But the forced encounters are buffed versions. They just have more health and do more damage than the random encounters. Nothing really special about them. Then they're just slightly more difficult than the random encounters here. But because of our equipment, somewhat trivial, just slow in some fights. We gotta hit one more trigger. And of course we miss. Alright, cool. That almost guarantees that. Well, we have. I don't know. We shall see. Alright, a second miss. Fantastic. Alright, so you get to witness the replication. Alright, so we're just going to overclock here. So this doesn't take forever. There's a good chance we don't kill this guy in time for the egg to hatch. So. And like I said, I think misses compound, so after that first one, I figured the second one was going to happen. So after 2 attacks, he actually will lay another egg. So I need to make sure to kill him, which 3 attacks should kill him. There's a good chance that I miss twice in a row. Alright, that's good. And I leveled up. I should have a full Jack move for this fight. It's 2 viruses, and a wireframe thing, cotton ball. Doesn't really matter. You just want to make sure that you kill the viruses on this, like, on consecutive turns, or they will lay an egg. So there can only be 3 enemies. So right now it's not a danger that they lay an egg. But once a slot opens up, it's all fair game. I use Jack Move. Woo! Alright, now we go to the boss. There's a chance we get another random encounter here. Take one little peek, make sure. Alright, so this is a fairly simple fight. There's a gimmick. It's the first gimmick fight. You have to enter a password. So the password is right, and then the 3rd digit doesn't matter. It's going to be wrong, whichever one you pick. So overclock, and then go to underclock. The right enemy there. So we get double attack right now. Alright, so the password is right. Then whatever we choose for the 3rd digit doesn't matter. It's going to be wrong, so we're just going to pick left. And it's going to go, eh. We're going to take damage. Then we're going to re-input the 3rd digit that we didn't pick. So, right. And then right. So he has about 45,000 health. Once that explosion happens, he drops down to like 15,000. We're gonna actually just end up using a Jack move here. He's actually gonna slow us on this next turn, so I'm gonna reapply my haste. Make sure that I get full turn supremacy here. Overclock. Then I'm going to install and then remove all that and then go Pierce Electro. Save. Execute Pierce Electro. Use a health packet. And without music, this just seems really boring, and I apologize. But basically, we just wail away now. So we're doing, you know, maximum damage that we can do with our setup. With the counter, we're getting extra Jack move when we hit him. So, and then we reduced his defense to this type of damage. We should have to do another Jack move, and then he should die at some point between the the second and third Jack move. I just need to make sure that I stay above like 100 health. Because if he crits, he does around 100. Nope. Okay. I didn't mean to do that, but actually. It's fine. Do patch. Data packet. Pudding, pudding. Alright, that was a little scary, but I figured that Jack Move was going to kill him. Alright, so we finally made it into our dad's research. We broke down the safeguards, and we find out that our dad was a scientist who was working on converting human consciousness into the Matrix, effectively. His cyber conscious and his real conscious are linked together, so he kind of knows where your dad's at. And we find some information from him. And it gives Ryder some information that he can hack into the HQ of Monomine, find out where your dad's actually being held at. Best progression sequence in the game. We have to wait for him to finish, so we just walk back in. He's really fast. He's really good at what he does, so. And we found a security camera where your dad's being held. So we volunteered to go save our dad. So we have to sneak into HQ and do the do. Go through a little secret tunnel to get to the HQ side of town. Go to the inside, and then we go to the outside. Go back to the inside. On the next screen. Then we're going to take our real last important shop. We are going to take another shop, but so we're going to buy the 3rd level attacks. We're going to buy this one. Buy Linkman. We're going to buy Hype Chip. And I'm just shy of buying RAM. That's unfortunate. I think that's all that I need. Alright. Do a quick setup. Nope, didn't mean to do that. Counter hack, get that off. Linkman and Hype Chip. Alright. So this setup's more for random encounters than a boss fight. But we equipped an item called Linkman that that allows all of our skills to hit all enemies. And then we equipped another item that gives us auto haste. So basically just speeds up all the random encounters. We keep on the auto damage buff. So we're buffing damage, we're damaging everything, and we're doing it faster. If you notice, I got almost a full Jack Move from that, so that's also kind of important as well. We also got a pizza. There's a side quest with the pizza man. It's pretty funny. Alright, so this is the bane of my existence. Alright, so it's B, A, and C. I don't need to touch any of the consoles. My last video, or the last recording, I tried to do this. I borked it all up. So the random encounters get pretty trivial for quite a while because of this particular setup, even though we are under-leveled. Just the fact that we hit everything and we hit it fast. Or we hit everything, we hit it harder, and then we hit it more turns than expected. It's pretty good. B, A. Alright. Haven't messed it up yet. So I need to ignore the B and the next B and the next A. I'm actually just going to use a Jack Move here. Boom, boom, boom. Pick C, and then we're out of the warehouse. Ambushed. That's fine. Because we are using the highest tier of skills, it costs double the data that we were using for the other skill, so we actually go through data very quickly here. That's also a huge benefit of using the link men, because we're hitting multiple enemies, which saves a lot of data. Alright, so we're about to enter the lounge where our dad's being held. But oh no, he's not here. Whatever shall you do? Of course I'd get a random encounter there. That's unfortunate. If he crits, he actually does quite a bit of damage for this time. There's an upgraded level of him later on in the game that can almost one-shot me if he crits, and it's brutal. I'm gonna go ahead and heal real quick. Also in the turn order, if you think you can kill the enemy that's directly after you in line, you know, it basically gives you like an extra turn because you just skip their turn. I was hoping I could kill this guy, yeah, before he attacked again. It didn't matter. I didn't level. I thought I was gonna level up there. Wishful thinking. Wishful thinking. choose the wrong one. Oh well, whatever. There's actually good items in this room, but it just takes so long to run across diagonally the other way, so we're just going to skip those. I bought some in the shop, so this is where we start picking up super consumables. They're super overkill right now. They do they heal way too much, and they give us way too much data for what we actually have. Basically, like double. So in the boss fight, it's just like it's a surefire way of getting yourself out of trouble. But obviously, they're much more expensive and harder to come by. Level up there. Oh, so close, so close. All right, I need one more random encounter before this next boss fight. I'm actually gonna go this way. I should get another one though, so I should get another one. I should get another. Please, okay. The boss is literally 10 feet ahead of me, so this is actually a decent fight. He did. There is no animation for that attack. I think it's kind of funny. You still take damage though. Alright, we get a full heal refresh, and we go into this fight. Alright, this fight can actually be a little dangerous, because once again we are at lower level, but try to do a little setup at the beginning of the fight after we remove the side enemies, to where I don't take as much damage. He does like a Kamehameha out of his mouth that does a lot of damage if I don't defend, so I try to reduce the damage that I take from that, just so I'm not having to heal every 2 or 3 turns. He got rid of the bouncy ball, and he was like, you know what? I'm gonna become a tank. So he became a tank. That doesn't kill the side enemies. We're going to use once again our skill, and it's going to give us a full another Jack Move. Oh, it didn't. It almost did though. So I'm going to just continuously attack. I'm going to underclock actually first. His cannons are also targets, so we're trying to destroy those cannons right now. He is purple, and the blue damage is the weakness of purple, so we actually don't need to debuff him to do the most damage. But I'm going to install. Didn't mean to do that. I'm going to no, hang on. There we go. Blockade. There we go. Save. Sorry. Cache. Does quite a bit of damage even though we blocked. This. Do this. He also does a ram attack that does like an actual decent amount of damage, so re-equip that, and then save. Alright. Now we can actually start doing things. If I don't die here. Patch, super health. It basically does like an extra 500 health that we don't need. But now we're just gonna start wailing away. And I missed, of course. that, and then I'm gonna cash. That did 0 damage for some reason. Data pack. It's actually a really good fight so far. Shouldn't have said that. Why did I say it? It should be another Jack Move, I believe. I'm gonna top off real quick. Thought that's what he was gonna do. I missed. Whoops. I don't have data pack. Did you die already? Jeez. There we go. Alright, so we can actually get into more random encounters here. It doesn't matter. But it's the same random encounters, and we just leveled up, so easy pickings. So the splits that you're looking at on screen, I know I'm like way over my world record run, but that was a very tight and very optimized run for what we were doing. There has been some changes. I think I talked about it earlier with the final boss fight, so even runs right now are not near where I was at for these splits. So I am doing quite bad, but I'm also taking a lot of safety items and whatnot. Alright, so we finally find our dad. He's just been strolling around. He has Alzheimer's or something, and he wandered up and got lost in the penthouse. Oh, but here comes Cyber Karen. She's gonna give the ultimate ultimatum. Ultimatum? Not ultimatum. Ken's probably gonna roast me for that. That'll be okay. Alright, so Dr. Einstein's back. Thought he loved your dad, but apparently not. And we were too late. So we just watched our dad die. Dr. Scientist dude shot him. Super unfortunate. We're not going to talk about that anymore. But surprise, surprise, she also has a gun. He finally got what. I mean, we beat him twice, and he's like, you know what? The one thing I didn't use, lead. But of course, lead's what ended him. So, all right, so we're back at Uncle Gwen's bar, drinking some apple juice. We're gonna go back in the construct and talk to our not dad really the only dad we have left at this point. So we're talking about, you know, how they're finally going to reconnect again and be a happy family, but digitally. He apologizes for never being there, and she apologized for never, you know, hanging out with him. And Ryder's probably going to be kind of upset about what happened, so we're going to go check on him. Come to find out, Ryder's not home. Well, we actually find out that Ryder is a backstabbing son of a gun, and he teams up with Crawl, Cyber Karen, because for some reason, I don't remember what it was. I'm just going to say that, you know, corporate greed or something. Basically, he said, only I can do this. So, take me and I'll do it for you. So they team up, and now Ryder is dead to me. So Uncle Gwen, in his like infinite lives that he's lived, he's like, we have the secret bunker down in the river basin thing. So meet me there, and we can sneak you into the HQ like secret executive area. I'm like, okay, cool. So we're now running in that direction. Once again, enemies are pretty trivial just because of the setup that we have. Unless you punch them, and then everything that we have set up makes no sense. Whoa. Alright, so if y'all have stuck around this far, it's about an hour and 20 minutes in, I just want to give a shout out to anyone watching. I appreciate it, sticking around. Hope you're enjoying it. Hope you're enjoying the content that we've been putting out every few days during the week. If you do enjoy it, if you could, like the video, drop a comment, tell me how bad I am at this actual game, and subscribe to the channel, because, you know, I would love to do more runs like this. I do have a few games that are coming out in the next month or so that I do want to try to speedrun. So maybe I do another one of these videos if it gets more than like 10 you know, thumbs ups. So it's all up to you whether Ken keeps me around or not. Data packet, last data packet. Boom, boom. Level are we? Level 18. Okay, we're about where we want to be. We do want to hit level 19 before we get to the next area, but that might not happen actually. You know, I probably should start using Jack moves more often. So once we get Link Man, we gain Jack moves so often that probably just spam it. The first half of the game, you gain it so slow, you really try to prioritize having it in the boss fight, so you can get rid of the ads. Patch. Super data pack. Doom, doom. Like this. Do 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 do. All right, we make it to the secret bunker, and we walk right back out. Did not mean to do that. We go find Uncle Gwen. Basically, he tells us there's a secret entrance to the sewers. And he gives us something. Segmentation fault. So we now have all the Jack moves. We still only use the one Jack move until the final fight. But we're going to take a quick shop here. I need to buy... So I need to decrease his damage. Increase my damage, or my defense. That. Here. I need... Please mod. That is actually it. So I'm going to buy a buttload of these. Alright, so it says there's no coming back. You have to be at least, or you should be at least level 21. We're now, right now, level 18. We're typically level 19. That might be because I died earlier. Maybe that's the cause of that. Make sure. Let's see. So, Hyperderm, Pierce Electric Firewall. Just gonna pick up that. That's pretty much all we need at the moment. So the one glitch in this game happens in this area. It's not really important. It's very rare that you get it. It's not really much of a time save other than you just skip a little bit of walking. And there's a good chance it just doesn't work. So not really much to talk about, but there's a chance that I get a random encounter in the right spot. And then I just skip walking around a small area. We did find some out of bounds stuff when the game first came out, but there was kind of like a defense mechanism against that. Once you clip out of bounds, anytime you stop moving, it puts you back in bounds. So we never really found an application for actually utilizing that. We could never figure out how to get back in bounds. That was the thing. All right, so this bat is the bane of my existence, and he already used it. Cool. So, the ghost from earlier, the bat does the same thing. So I'm now doing less damage, but receiving less damage, but also dealing less damage. I should be doing like 800 to these enemies, but I'm doing 200 at the moment. So I'm actually going to Pierce Electric Firewall. Or never mind, I'm doing... So I was doing like a sixth of the damage, so I was doing like 250 instead of 1250. So I basically just debuffed their defense. Go ahead and use packet. Probably shouldn't, but... Wait, I didn't go in here. Did I? Did not go in there. Okay. Alright, so when we come out of this room is where we can get that next random encounter on that bridge. And basically when we start, when we come back... I'm actually going to underclock. No, I'm just going to use a Jack Move. Not even going to deal with it. When we come out of this room, if we get a random encounter on the bridge that I just walked over, I can walk up into the railing, and when it transitions from screens, I can basically walk through the railing and land on the bottom. It's only happened once, and I stopped moving, so it teleported me back, but... So I actually don't even know if it really works. Because I needed to walk down here anyways, so... If I could clip through that bridge and literally just save 10 seconds of walking, maybe. I hate that bat. I hate him so much. Nice. Alright, I leveled up. I should have maxed out my Jack Move level by now, and I should have getting pretty close at maxing out my skill level, if I haven't already. Go out here, this way, down here. Just gonna go ahead and start doing it. Oh, he missed. Oh my god, he missed. Look, Fox is really gonna die now. Fox, wolf, dog. I don't know what it is. It's half a machine. That's all I know. That's pretty much all I could ask for in that fight. Do. Probably get another encounter here. But we're pretty much out of the sewers now. The next area, the enemies start to get a little bit more difficult. Oh yeah, I get 2 turns. Heck yeah. It didn't kill him. Holy crap. Can I just... Again. So say typically it's a two hit kill there. The next area they get a little more difficult. later in the dungeon, there's like a whole extra level of enemies, and they can pretty much one-shot you if they'd feel like it, which is just fine and dandy. A lot of these enemies do like different types of buffs and debuffs, so that the ninja dude, if you don't kill him first, he hits you and it knocks back your turn order. So if he's with other enemies and he knocks back your turn order, so he gets a hit, the other enemy gets a hit, and then he gets a hit again, there's a very good chance you just die because you're like not really planned that you take that many attacks in a row from enemies that are multiple levels higher than you. Turning on the power of the elevator. I'm gonna flick one more switch. I'm gonna use my Jack Move here. So this guy can actually do a decent amount of damage if he crits. So if you're like less than half health, he crits, you're just dead. Pick up one more item here for the next boss fight. So the next boss fight kind of has a gimmick to it. Not really. The boss fight, when it hits a certain HP threshold, there's a chance that he heals himself. So we try to damage burst, if you will, past all those thresholds. We just try to kill him before he gets any healing off. Very inconsistent because it's just a chance that he does the... Oh my god, that hurt. Because it's just a chance that he heals himself, so... It's happened a few times. If it does happen, he heals like 12,000 health, which is multiple rounds of damage. So... It's super slow if he gets it, but if he does, more likely it's going to happen, and if it does, oh well. Super data packet. So I try to set it up to where I do as much damage as possible. Don't need that, but I want to pick it up anyways. It's literally in the way. Crits. The Jack Move always crit. I guess that's just kind of like its key feature. Nice. I would really like to level up before I get to the boss fight. Probably not going to happen though. Alright, so this screen and the next screen is where the like super dangerous enemies occur. There's a few enemies that if they just want to crit on a certain attack, so this is one of the enemies. If they really want to attack and do damage, they just attack and do damage. I underclock him because he has a lot of health. And he does a lot of damage. So, cash. I'm gonna try to just hope I can kill him in 3 turns. In the next 3 turns. That was a good crit. That was a good crit. Okay, cool. We're still doing really good on consumables at the moment. Alright. I forgot the combination. There might be some trial and error here. Did it perfect last time. 2314? I'm gonna say it's 2314. It might be 1324, but we'll get it. I've only done it 1,000 times. I don't know why I don't remember it. Surprisingly, we haven't got the Hulk. So the boss fight that we had at the very beginning of the game, the tutorial boss, he's now like an upgraded boss or an upgraded random enemy. And he's the one that can act just one shot for the heck of it. That actually, I'm gonna pierce and then use my Jack move, see if that just ends him. It doesn't. Alright, cool. Good to know. Not having a Jack move going into the next boss fight doesn't really matter because I'm probably going to gain a Jack move before I even start attacking him. Actually. Alright. This is probably my favorite boss in the game as far as like the way he looks and his moveset, but he's also probably the most annoying besides the final boss. Alright, so there's Ryder and Cyber Karen. Ryder, don't know what he was thinking, but he's like, you know what? I'm fed up with you. Tase. And he tries to stop everything that she's doing. But she activates the super defense system. This, so blockade, underclock, overclock, disarm, and actually this right here, hardware, going to equip, wait. I never bought, oh man, I never bought, crap. Never bought the buff. Oh well. Okay, so. Well then I won't actually need to, yeah, that's fine. Don't need Linkman, I'm going to Blaze Mod. No, I'm going to use Blaze Mod. And yeah. Alright, so we're gonna improvise a little bit here because there was one item I didn't pick up. That's fine. So this is actually a fairly simple fight. We're just gonna throw a bunch of buffs and debuffs. And then we're going to wail away. He has one attack that does a lot of damage, so buffing my defense and debuffing his attack just saves me from having to heal like every 3 turns or 4 turns. So I'm going to boost my defense, then unboost his attack. So that attack right there, even though it doesn't have a damage, that would do almost half my attack. Or half my HP there. And now we just wail away. I would like to equip, would have liked to equip my auto counter attack just to get more Jack moves, so I could squeeze a Jack move as much as possible. But I didn't pick up my damage boost skill, so I have to keep my auto attack boost on. And this is basically just me ensuring that I do as much damage every turn consecutively as possible, right? So I'm trying to just do as much damage before he's able to do his heals. All of the bosses are kind of like on a scripted move list, so I think some things are like on a percentage chance, so there's like a percentage chance he does one thing versus another. Alright, so he's gonna blind us. That's fine. This just gives us a chance to heal. Actually. Execute hyperturn. For 3 turns, we have reduced accuracy, so I'm just gonna do some setup stuff. Cash lark. Zero damage. It looks like I just gained health there. What the heck? Data packet. All right. Boom. So I'm doing like 1600 damage right now. So that's kind of like his first kind of phase over. Which I think is a third of his health. Once he gets through the next third of his health, he will do like a massive heal for like 12,000 damage. I think it's up to a static amount, so it's like 75% of his total health. But I've seen as much as like 12,000 health regen, so basically just it just undoes 12 attacks effectively. Alright, I think we may have actually skipped it, which is pretty cool. This is the slow part of when he does this move. It doesn't do a lot of damage, but it just takes forever. Typically, when you get to this point, means he's on his last third of health. At this point, he can do a smaller heal, so when he gets down to like 15%, he can heal up to like a 25% or something. But that's only like 2 turns worth of damage instead of 12. So. Oh, whoops, well, okay. That's not bad. Pad. Should be getting pretty close here. He's been loving that Colossal Crush, so if we didn't debuff his attack and buff my defense, if he critted on that, he would do like 800 and something health. So if I basically wasn't at full health, he didn't heal once. That was a perfect fight there. Probably could have done it a little bit faster if I had the right equipment. Alright, so I need to... We can still get random encounters. So I need to swap back to my random encounter build. So earlier, like 2 levels ago, if this would have happened, this would have been a kind of a scary scenario because of the 3 attacks that happened consecutively there. They would have done more damage, and I would have had less health, so it's a double whammy. Don't really need to do that, but still gonna get another random encounter anyways. Alright, so this is the really angry dude. So this is the worst case scenario. So let's say that missed and that ninja got his attack off. I would have most certainly have died. Because when this dude rips his shirt and he does his flurry of blows, if he crits on it, it's just an instant game over. Please die. Oh, thank God. That was actually kind of scary. I will heal, actually, because I still have to make it across the room. Okay, cool. So we find out the reason why Cyber Karen is so Karen-y is her daughter is her body is useless, and only her brain is being active by being in the like cybernet or whatever, the Matrix. So she wants to use your dad's technology to import her consciousness into a robot. That's kind of what all this game has been about. So we tell her that's not a good idea, and she's like, well, I don't care, it's my daughter and I do what I want. I'm the CEO and I can do this. So she actually tests it on herself first, I guess. I actually don't remember why she does this, but she goes into the cyber matrix net and becomes like all powerful or whatever. She like mutates into this cyber demigod thing. I don't know why I don't transfer when I go into the construct, but it is what it is. Until it ain't. Alright, so we're going to do this. Buy. I need. Turbo Electro. Yep. Alright, hardware. I don't think I need anything else. Nope. Bunch of those. Bunch of those. More bunch of those. Alright. Really hope I bought everything. My menus are awful. My shops are awful. And I own them. Alright, so we're now in the purple construct instead of the green. But we still have the same, basically the same enemies as the last construct that we went into. They might be stronger, maybe, but basically the same exact enemies. So we're going to Jack Move. Going into the next boss fight or the final fight, Jack moves don't matter because we can't use them until like way late into the fight, so we can kind of just go as fast as we want to here. As risky as we want to. Oh, you missed. Alright, let's see if I remember this combination. Alright, so basically there are no more random encounters as long as I get this right. Center. If you pick the wrong door, you get a surprise attack. There's also that was the wrong one. I was talking. There's also a voice in your head that's like giving you binary hints, basically. If you were to convert that to regular speak, it would give you hints as to like what you're supposed to do here. But I don't do that. This one, my bad. Middle, right, left. I'm left-handed, so I'm a little biased to going left. That's my bad. I apologize. Now we're at the final fight. So, this is actually a super scary fight. The first phase is super scary. The second and third phase are pretty much lame. Alright, so Linkman, and we need right? Yeah. And then here we need overclock. We need cyber firewall, electric firewall. Blockade. Okay, I was like, where is it at? Found it. I think I get a full hill here, but I'm just going to do this just in case. Alright. So, basically, she has an arm that does, she has 4 arms, and they all do one type of damage each. And we can't use a Jack move as long as that arm is active. So, right now we can't use any Jack moves, and she's going to hit us one each damage type every turn. So she's going to do a lot of damage to begin with. This is why we're going to try to buff our own defense. So the way we used to do this is we would put her to sleep and we would just attack the arms. And as long as we didn't attack the body, she would stay asleep. But every like 3 or 4 turns, she tends to if she has a debuff, she cleanses herself, essentially. Health packet. Alright, so that's purple, so she's going to do that one, so I'm going to do blue. This is going to really hurt. Oh, she missed. Oh, thank God. Okay, so she's able to do Jack moves, and the turn before she does a Jack move, she drops your resistance towards that. So, even though we buffed our defense to that, she still did have her health. Which is why it's super important that we pay close attention to our health. Because if she crits or if she has 2 attacks in a row, very good chance that just bye-bye. But pretty much if I go under 500 health, I just heal her. This is probably the slowest fight. Install here. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to go fork, turbo electro, Poly, then save. Poly. Alright, so I threw out the poly deflector because every time she sets up for a jack move, she is going to try to debuff against that. So going to actually heal health packet. So I can deflect 3 of those with one of those. So I need to make sure that I can always do that because it removes the damage or the shield that I have up, the resistance that I have up. So it's double bad if she breaks the defense. It doesn't move it back to normal, it deuces it. And if you notice, we haven't done any damage to her whatsoever. She has 99,999 health at the moment. And I'm just doing some setup stuff in hopes that when I do start doing damage, that it's as straightforward as possible. That one. Of course she critted there. Super health packet. Yeah, so anytime she crits, it makes it scary. Because she's already, like, I'm resistant to all damage right now, and she's still doing 200 damage. I don't remember if I debuffed that one, so I'm going to go do that one. Okay, so she's going to do that, and then I'm going to start attacking. So each one of her arms have 10,000 health, and I'm doing 900 damage. So I'm going to cash. So I basically need to hit her arms 11 times. Of course that crit. Do. Patch. Super health back. You actually can. You can actually kill her, just by brute force. The first time I actually played the game, I did that in the second phase. I didn't understand the gimmick of the second phase, so I just literally just out damaged her. Her health back. Alright, so that removed my poly deflector, so I need to redo that next turn. Whoa. Poly deflector. And it's a miss. I should break all of the arms on the same turn. There's a chance that 2 of them break faster than the other 2. I think. Typically 2 arms break, and then the next time I deal damage, the other 2 break. That's important because when an arm gets broken, all the other damage types get buffed. So let's say if I was to break 3 arms and leave 1, and she was able to do a jack move of that damage type, there's a chance that she would just do more damage than I have health, which is super unfortunate. Now with all the buffs that I have, I'd probably survive if I had full health, but that was the thing with the first technique that we used with the sleep. Effectively, if she ever woke up, the game was over. because we couldn't use Link Man, we had to attack each arm individually. Super health. Also, using health packets instead of healing with skills just saves us some data, so we don't have to use as many data packets. And it also guarantees that we get a full heal as well. Which, if I would stop missing on these. And then on these few turns where she does 2 attacks in a row, once again, if I didn't buff my defense to all attacks, it's almost a guaranteed death. If I survived one, I probably couldn't survive both. So that's 2, at least 2 down. Oh, only 1, okay. Not gonna use a Jack move. I need Jack moves for the next cycle, or the next phase. Alright, so that's 3. Let's see if we get a 4th. Alright. So that ends this phase. So the next phase, she's going to polymorph into each of the bosses. So all the bosses up to this point have all been a certain type. So we have to use the proper typing against that enemy. This is the part I didn't understand the first time that I went through this game. Played it casually. So, I just literally just wailed on these bosses until she just died from damage overload. You can still die here. These guys are actually fairly tough, so I'm gonna play it a little safe here. But basically, all I need to do is hit him with the Jack move. That's all that I need to do. So, so if you hit him with the wrong type, it doesn't do any damage. Like, after I talked to the developers and told, I was like, I understand it now, but the first time I just didn't get it. The hints weren't enough. So we went back and fixed some stuff. Gave some more hints, made it much more obvious to what you're supposed to do. So should be able to. So he is blue. Needs to do this one. Okay, I thought he was going to do his laser thing. I was going to be super upset there for a second. Alright, pad, super health. Cash. Really, I just need to gain Jack move, so... this part's a little scary because... he did debuff my defense. So, actually going to do super health packet. This was actually why I needed this. This was the scenario where I used that item that I picked up. And of course he critted with that, so that's cool and all. So I'm not going to take any chances here. You also can't cash 2 turns in a row. That's why I couldn't defend there. Wait, that didn't remove. I just realized. Oh no, it did. It did. Never mind. My bad. He did the attack again. Should be able to kill him this turn. Blue, right? Yep. That's the really only scary part of the second phase. Still have 2 more to go. No. Okay, missed. Oh, thank God. Who would have killed me there? Just doing 2 attacks in a row, man. It's brutal. So I'm actually gonna cash here. To purple. Probably my favorite animation in the game. Oh, I thought there was one more. There's not. Okay. So that's super data packet. Of course, she had that. That's fine though. She pretty much can't do anything now. There's been so many misses in this fight. I am going to super health packet just in case. But it's pretty much game over now. All right, so we defeated Karen. So, I guess killing her in cyberspace killed her in real life. But she was able to stall us enough to transfer her daughter's consciousness into the robot. However, we discovered that the binary that we were seeing from the mysterious voice earlier was actually her daughter trying to give us help. Because she was connected to the cyber web, she could see everything that her mother was doing. So she was super disagreed with everything that was happening. So when she becomes a robot, she realizes, hey, this is not good. This company is bad. So I'm going to self-destruct everything and get out of here. That's pretty much what happens. For timing purposes, we actually don't hit time until the final splash screen. Well, this was fun. This was actually a super good run, minus the 1 death that we had pretty early on. I appreciate anyone and everyone that stuck around and hung out, watched. I hope you enjoyed it. If you didn't, I'm sorry that you have bad taste. No, I'm just kidding. I know speedrunning and RPGs are not for everyone, so it's just something that I enjoy doing. I hope everyone has a lovely time not watching our content, but they have a better time watching our content, and I will see y'all later.